Hello, I'm Graham Horton and welcome to part 4 in this tutorial series aimed at seniors and new users of smartphone photography. Now, in this particular episode, I want to look at some ways of being able to protect your camera from falling when you're taking pictures, to be able to grip it more securely, to allow you to take pictures, and to give you some stability rather than giving you camera shake when you try to press the shutter release button to take your pictures. Now, we know these devices can be very slippy. This is a Huawei P20 Pro. It's a really slippy case. Whether it's got some coating on there to eliminate fingerprints, but it is really slippy to hold. And quite often when you're trying to grip this at one end to try and take a picture, you notice it's now sliding in my hand. It can fall to the ground. So holding this device for taking pictures single-handed, if you're doing that, can be quite tricky. It's better to try and hold it with two hands and press the shutter button, or if you're in the vertical format, again, use two hands to hold it. There are a number of options available to give you some stability and security. Here at the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, it came with the case here, and on that case is a removable strap, so you can put that on your wrist. And again, if you were to take pictures single-handed but drop the phone, it's got the security of being held on that strap on your wrist. Doesn't give you much stability. If you want to try and take pictures, you can tighten it up around your wrist, but then you find you can't put your finger on the shutter release button or use the volume up button to take the picture if that's how you want to take your picture. So that's an option. But in this video I want to look at some wired and wireless devices which allows you to take pictures with greater security in terms of being able to hold the camera steady and reduce that camera shake. Starting off with a very simple phone here. There's my favorite little iPhone 4S. It does have a proprietary connector on the bottom, but does have a 3.5 tip ring sleeve headphone socket, and you can use that with the headphones to provide you a facility to trigger the shutter. So I've got a pair of TRRS headset here. Providing they are equipped with the volume up and volume down buttons, you should be able to use those to take pictures. You can have some headphone sets with the tip ring sleeve but don't have the volume up and volume down. They only have a button to enable you to take the phone call, so they won't work. You must have the volume up and down buttons on there to take the pictures. Again, it just emulates the shutter release button by using the volume up button, so they would just plug directly into your smartphone. And then if you've got this on a tripod, or you want to hold this for selfies and want to hold it out at a reasonable distance, again you can just use that volume up button to take the picture. A much better option is, rather than using your headset, you can get these cables which are a button on the end of a 1 meter length cable, and again it's got tip ring sleeve connector, so that again just plugs into the headphone socket and again emulates the volume up button. So again you can take your picture by just pressing the release button and that will take the picture. So that is the cheapest option, if you like, for phones which only have that headphone socket. If you've got a lightning port or you've got the USB-C port, and of course you can use your dongle. So here I've got a lightning to TRRS adapter. So if you've got a later phone like the iPhone 11, 13, 14, 15, then you can use your dongle to enable you to take your pictures by plugging them into the socket on the bottom and then plugging your headset into the adapter to give you that same operation. With the later phones that got USB-C, again you can use that USB-C to TRRS adapter and again use your volume up volume down button on that type of device. Without using the adapter, you can use the Type-C headphones. Again, providing you've got the volume up and volume down button, you should be able to use those to take the pictures by plugging them into the port on your smartphone. You may remember the old selfie sticks. These are ideal if you want to use the ×2 facility on your camera to get the phone further away from you while you take that selfie. You don't get that close-up distortion that I mentioned in part 3 of the video. So again, by using the USB-C to TRRS adapter, I can plug the lead from the selfie stick into the adapter, and I can take the picture at that remote distance. So again, that's an option. Some of these devices have a 1/4-20 threaded mount in the bottom. You can put them onto a tripod as well, which gives you that extra stability. So those are the wired options. Again, we want now to look at some of the wireless options, normally Bluetooth devices, which interface from a simple device like this 360 shutter device, and it connects via Bluetooth to emulate the up-down button of your camera to take pictures. Very simple. You just connect them as you would with any other Bluetooth module. They pair and then they're available to use. So I've got a variety of Bluetooth shutter devices here which I'd like to demonstrate. Most of them will work remotely, up to about 10 feet away from your camera, so you can use them when you've got your camera on a tripod to start and stop recording video or taking selfies, or if you're in a group you can just put that behind your back and take a picture without anyone knowing that you are using the remote. Saves having to put the 10-second timer on and then running back to the group to take your picture. So the Bluetooth remote is an ideal solution. But a much better way of holding the camera is to use one of these combined Bluetooth release and shutter grip. So this one is by Ulanzi. It's the model CG02. This one is a little bit more expensive than the basic ones and comes in about £20. And again, it's just got a spring-loaded clip which clips over your phone. So if I put this on the Huawei P20 Pro, let's just clip that over there like so. Gives me a better grip on the phone, and on the top here I've got a shutter release button. So once this is Bluetooth connected to the device, I can use the shutter release button to take the picture, and I've got a nice grip here so I can hold the camera. This one has got an actual fill light, so it's useful if you are taking pictures at night time. You can turn on the fill light, and it's got various strengths. You can change up to 4 degrees of lighting. So if you want that extra fill light, then the Ulanzi device is probably one for you. The grip does have a cold shoe mount on the top, so you're going to put additional lights, or if you're into video you could actually put a microphone on there and plug that into your USB-C port as well. So that's the Ulanzi grip. If you've got a phone with a MagSafe connection, then you can use this one, which is from JJC, again Bluetooth connected. You do need the MagSafe connector on your smartphone case. So here's the case for an iPhone 13 Pro, which I'm actually using to record the video. So when the phone's mounted in this device, you can clip it to the MagSafe device, and that will hold the phone quite securely while you take your pictures. And again, it's got a release on the top of the unit here. The remote in both cases is removable, so you can actually remove it and take it up to sort of 10 feet away quite easily and take your pictures using the remote shutter button. So the JJC one here, again I'll put links to these in the video description below, again has a 1/4-20 threaded mount in the bottom, so you can put it onto a small tabletop tripod or onto a light stand or into a full-size tripod and use it up to sort of 10 feet away. Quite often I'll use a small tripod to again hold the phone in position, and it gives me a little bit more grip, and I can extend it away, so it gives me that facility of getting to the ×2 if I want to do selfies, or then I can place it onto a tabletop and capture group shots, etc. So that's the JJC wireless remote control. Some cheaper options are just grips. This one is I think £10, and again I'll put a link in the video description below. 1/4-20 threaded mount. It's only a plastic mount, it's not got a brass insert, but it does have that spring loaded option, and again a shutter release on the top, and again this can be removed and used remotely up to sort of 10 feet, the normal Bluetooth distance. If you want one with a built-in tripod, again, this one is available on Amazon. It's a cheap tripod, again, about £10. It does have a built-in remote control, again Bluetooth, which just clips into the top. Once you're connected, you can use this tripod. You can extend it at full reach for a tripod, or you can again turn this into a selfie stick and you can angle the top to get you the right angle, etc. So with Bluetooth control, you've got that extra remote control operation. With the table tripod, of course, you've got that option of being able to take group shots or whatever, if you can place this on a table convenient for that purpose. I'll quite often just use a standard spring mount. This one has got a 1/4-20 threaded mount in the back and in the top and in the base, so it gives me 3 mounting options for additional lights or cold shoe mounts or whatever, so you can use that on your tripod. Here I've got one mounted on my little Manfrotto table tripod, again just a spring loaded clip which has got a cold shoe on the top, which gives me facilities of mounting microphone for when I'm shooting video, and again it gives me a nice handle. I can adjust the position of the head of the tripod, again can use it for selfies, or again a convenience facility if you want to take video. And again, with that Bluetooth remote control, you can start and stop recording video or take pictures remotely using that facility. Again, another device, that's the Manfrotto clip. I like this one because you can lock it in position and gives you extra security, and the soft grip drawers will accommodate phones with an included case on there, so this is a good one. And again, it does have a cold shoe mount on the top. You can mount either external lights for video or additional fill lights if you're taking pictures, and again a 1/4-20 threaded mount here on the side. You can mount other lights or a cold shoe and a microphone if you're into shooting video, and again you can use this for selfies, etc. Now there are some grips out there which offer full control of the camera using their own apps. Now this one is an older grip version made by Pictar and does control iPhones. It uses ultrasonic technology to communicate with the camera, so it uses the loudspeaker, if you like, in the Pictar device and the microphone of the iPhone to enable you to control things like the shutter, change the shutter speed, change the ISO, change exposure compensation. All those facilities are available from this device. The device also has built-in QI charging facilities, so you can wirelessly charge the smartphone whilst you're filming. Quite an expensive device. I think it was about £100 when I bought this several years ago. Don't actually use it that often now, but it is a useful feature. It gives you that extra grip, and again, by remote control using ultrasonic, you can take pictures, but you need to use their dedicated app to do that. Let me show you how easy it is to pair these Bluetooth devices with your smartphone so you can actually get better still images without camera shake, etc. I'm going to be using this very simple, first of all, shutter release, Bluetooth shutter release. They're only about £4 or £5 on Amazon. This one's actually called the Camera 360. It works with both iOS and Android devices, so you don't need to buy a specific one for your camera, so it will work with both types. You need to go into the settings option of your phone and then select Bluetooth. So once you go into Bluetooth, you now have got the option there of pairing any device which will communicate. So I'm going to turn on this device, and if it's unpaired, you'll see that there is a blue LED which will continuously flash until it's paired. So I've just turned it on, and you can probably see that the blue light is flashing. And if I scroll down, you can see the other device is waiting to connect, other one here called the AB Shutter 3. So if I press AB Shutter 3, it will now pair and ask for a pairing request. So I will continue by pressing pair, and you now see that AB Shutter is connected. So we now know that if we go into the basic camera app, so if I go into camera app and I press the shutter release, it will take a picture, and there it is available for you to preview. If you've got the self timer set on your camera, so if you go into the timer and set a 3-second timer, then again when you press release, the camera will count down and then take the picture. So that's useful if you're in a group photo situation and you want to make sure everyone's settled down and looking at the camera. Press the release and then it will count down to give you that picture. It will start and stop video recording as well as starting a still image for you, so you can use it for video as well. Let me set up one of the grips on the camera so you can see how easy it is to set up the grip and take pictures with those. I'm going to set up this JJC release, which has got the MagSafe connector. Now if you don't have a case which has got the MagSafe area on there, you can stick on a steel plate which has got a self-adhesive backing. So if, for example, if I wanted to connect this to my iPhone 4S, I could actually put one of these single-sided sticky tape steel plates to the back of the device. This one I've just taken off something so it's not flat, but a new one would sit perfectly flat on the back of the phone, and then they can be used with the MagSafe device like so. So if that's an option, if you haven't got a MagSafe compatible case on your phone. Here I've got the iPhone 16 Pro in its case, which does have a MagSafe connector. So I'm going to connect that to the device like so. It's quite secure, so I can shake that and it won't fall off. It does hold quite nicely onto that MagSafe mount. Again, it's the same. I've got a removable Bluetooth connection here, so if I just remove the MagSafe so I can hold this flat on the table so you can see it, and again going to settings, into your Bluetooth, and when you turn on this device you press the shutter release button, hold that down for 3 seconds, and again you'll find there is a tiny blue LED in there which will start to flash. And if you go into settings, you see there is MSG remote has come up there. Tap that, ask for repairing, and it will pair, and now you've got MSG remote is connected. So if we go back to the camera app, again you've got the option there of being able to take the picture using that remote shutter. And again, if you're in video mode or you wanted to start video recording, it will start video recording and stop video recording. And again, if you wanted to put the self timer on there for 3 seconds, then when you press the shutter you will get a countdown and then it will take the picture. So these are really useful devices if you want to use Bluetooth with these grips. If you didn't want that expense, then you can just use your up and down volume control to start recording. So if I wanted to take a picture, then if I use the volume up button, it will do that countdown and then take the picture. If I wanted to record video, I just use the volume up button to start recording, and if I wanted to stop recording, again just press the volume up button. If you wanted just to use your headphones or earphones to start recording, providing it has the volume up and volume down facility, if you plug that into a camera, whether it's a Lightning or USB-C port, plug that into your port, and again you can see on screen as I press the volume up or volume down button, it will take the picture. Again, I've got that 3 second timer taken, and then volume up, again you can use that to take a picture or start and stop video. So again, a useful option if you got a headset with volume up and volume down controls to remotely be able to take pictures, whether you've got the camera mounted on a tripod or you want to use it for selfie and have an extended reach. There are other options as well. This one is for the Lightning adapter CarPlay as accessory, and again it's got the volume up and volume down, and you can use that with your iPhone prior to iPhone 16 to enable you to start and stop recording using the up and down volume button of the CarPlay adapter. One of the areas I'd like to look at now is exposure control and how to get the correct exposure for either video or stills. I'm going to demonstrate this on the iPhone 16 Pro, but it was the same with most of the Apple phones and very similar with the Android devices and also the Google Pixel. So what I've got to do is set up a scene here, which is my favorite little doll, so I can demonstrate the interface. And you can see on screen the typical screen you will see on an Apple device. And if we look over on the right hand side, you can see I can select between cinematic, video, photo, portrait, usual operations. We're now going to photo, and I want to take a picture with a close-up of the head, so I'm going to go into ×5, and to do that I'm going to hit the ×5 or the 5 button on the screen, and you can see that that gives me the 5x optical zoom of the camera. If I select anything less than 5, so if I use the on-screen facility of the magnification, anywhere from 1 to 5 is going to be a digital magnification. So at 4.9 or 4.6 I'm actually using digital magnification of the ×1 lens, so we're not going to get the same result as if I was to use the ×5. And if I go beyond ×5, obviously, then I can go up to ×25, which is again digital zoom. And you might be able to see on screen there, it's not very sharp and you're seeing a lot of noise in the screen. So I'm going to go back to the 5x optical zoom, and now I want to get the exposure correct. So if I just take that picture, I can either use my Bluetooth shutter, which I'll use as I've got this set up on the screen. I'll take a single picture. So there we have the picture, and we'll see that on screen. That is just the default picture taken from the camera. Now it looks to be quite bright, so what I want to do is dim that down, and to do that we use the on-screen facility. So if I touch the face, you'll notice we bring up a square with a sunshine icon. So touch the square again, you can see we bring the star, and you just see this, the sunshine icon. If I touch away from the screen you can see it more clearly, but if I can go on the eyes where I want the point to be. Now there is a facility on the Apple phones. If you press and hold that target icon for about 5 seconds, you'll notice that it changes into the AFAE lock. So that means the exposure and the focus at that point are now locked. So it won't change even if my lighting changes slightly. The shutter speed and the ISO will stay as it is, but most importantly the focus is locked. So if you're on a tripod, the focus won't change. If I wanted to now get the exposure correct, all I have to do is touch the square there, and it brings up that sunshine icon again, and by sliding that slider up and down I can change the brightness of the scene. The focus doesn't change, but the actual exposure does. So if I want to make it slightly darker, I'm going to just drop that to that point that I think is going to be correct, and we'll take the picture, and again we can look at that in the video. So that is how you would set exposure, particularly if you're going to be shooting on something like snow where the camera would underexpose. It would make all your images look grey. Again, you can just touch the screen and then use your exposure control to brighten up anything that looks underexposed. So there we are, some ideas of how to improve stability for capturing both stills and video. When we talk about video, I'll be showing you some other methods of getting more stable footage, although the image stabilization of modern smartphones is quite good, using both optical image stabilization and digital stabilization within the camera to give you very, very stable footage. Even if you run or walk quickly, you can get some good pictures. Alternatively, you can use what's called a gimbal to add extra stability, and I'll show you some simple gimbals that you might want to consider when we talk about videography later in this series. So hopefully now you've got some understanding of how to improve stability for holding the camera and controlling the shutter, and also how to use exposure compensation if you're outside or indoors and you want to change the way that the camera is recording the scene. It will depend on the ratio of your subject to your background contrast as to how much exposure compensation that you'll need using that on-screen slider in your photography. Hope you found that useful, and of course, if you're a new viewer and you've not already subscribed to the channel, I see quite a few people are watching but not subscribing. Please do subscribe. It really does help to get this video out there to more of the people. So until the next video, thanks very much for watching. Please do take care, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon. Goodbye for now.